Hello and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today we're going to be taking a look at the latest puzzle by Kane Puzzles, which is the pseudonym of young Can Ertuğran from Turkey. And Can, I mean, I've eulogized about Can before, a complete prodigy. I think Can is still 14 years old, which is absurd. I fully expect, where's the World Sudoku Championship later this year? I think it might be in Toronto. I confidently suggest to you that Can will come in the top 10, maybe in the top 5, maybe in the top 1. And just a phenomenally clever young man who keeps producing these fabulous puzzles. Yeah, it's a style I really admire of construction, because his puzzles are always interesting. They're not normally brutally hard, but they always they feel very satisfying. The constructor I think Can most reminds me of, or perhaps she reminds me of Can, is Clover. So I think Clover and Can produce very similar puzzles in terms of their there's a je ne sais quoi about them. And speaking of je ne sais quoi, in fact, although am I giving away anything by there? I did tweet a crossword clue today that I did enjoy from the Times. The clue was 7 letters, the pain of Marcel Proust, and there was a question mark at the end. So how good is your knowledge of Proust's novels? Let's see. Leave us a comment if you think you know the answer. I did put some hints in the tweet. Right, now, but the big news today, apart from the fact I should tell you the name of the puzzle. It's called Converging Paths, and I can tell you the testers love this puzzle, and that's not really very surprising, but that is why we're going to be trying it today. But the big news is it is the 1st of August, and being the first of the month, that means it is Patreon reward day. So we have a brand new Sudoku hunt for you over on Patreon. It will be out by now. 4 o'clock UK time is the time it goes out. I'm recording this a few hours before that today. But at 4 o'clock it will go live, and you can get your teeth into. It's a little collaboration. It's mostly the work of the great Glum Hippo, our favourite river horse, with a little input from us as well. And there are several puzzles in that hunt to get your teeth into, and the closing date is the 20th of August. So do have a go. I really do think you'll enjoy it, and well, I can confidently state that our Patreon, which is a couple of bucks a month, it is the best value entertainment if you have any interest in puzzles at all on planet Earth. Certainly per hour of joy you will get from it. That is, yeah. Anyone got any better ideas? Let me know, because I don't think there is one. Other than that, I've got a birthday to do today. Let me get my list. Harry, you've turned 22 today. I think I remember reading out your 21st birthday last August the 1st. But your girlfriend Emma wrote to us and said that you'd appreciate a shout out. And apparently you do the pencil puzzle over on the Discord server every day, as indeed should everybody. So our Discord server has 2 puzzles every day that are completely free, and they're always wonderful. There's a Sudoku puzzle, which is and these are they're meant to be genuinely approachable, so a very good way of getting into variant Sudoku or pencil puzzle solving generally. So there's a Sudoku puzzle and also a pencil puzzle. So Harry apparently does the pencil puzzle, and I was amused to read in Emma's message that Harry's party trick is to complete a newspaper Sudoku in a very fast time. Now, Harry, let me let you in on a secret. This is a strategy I used to use at parties as well, and it didn't get me the best reputation. This is why at parties I can often be found alone in the corner doing my Sudokus. It never worked. It never worked as a social strategy for me, but maybe you have more luck with it. Anyway, Harry, have a happy birthday, and I hope you have lots of chocolate cake, of course. But now let's have a look at Converging Paths by Kane Puzzles, or Can as I know him. And these are the very short and simple rules today. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply, so we need to put the digits 1 to 9 in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box, once each. The digits on an arrow sum to the digit in that arrow's circle. So most of the arrows here seem to have overlapping renbans, but that arrow, what we do is, imagine this was 1, this was 2, and this was 5. 1 plus 2 plus 5 equals 8, so we would write 8 into the circle. If this was 3, we'd write 6 into the circle and get the puzzle wrong, because there would have to be two sixes in row 2. But that's the basic principle of arrows. You add up the digits along the arrow, and you plonk that digit in the circle, and you're good to go. Now, each purple line contains a set of non-repeating consecutive digits which can appear in any order. So let's imagine this square here was a 9. Then we would know that this 4-cell sequence, because it has to contain consecutive digits, would have to contain 9, 8, 7 and 6 in some order, and we could do any order we like. Oops. So that would be one order, which it could be. We could switch that round and do that. It's quite difficult with the arrow to put anything else there, but that is how renban lines work. That's the classic name for these purple lines. I will try and refer to them as purple lines to avoid Sudoku nomenclature where possible, but do have a go at the puzzle. As I say, Chan's puzzles are always wonderful. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, as I was doing the example there, I've noticed something that I think is interesting and seems to be at least partly relevant. But I think what I'll start with is the very low-hanging fruit, which is that apart from this arrow, the other arrows in this puzzle, I think, are all 3-cell arrows on which none of the digits can repeat. And that means the minimum we could put into any of these 3 arrows would be a 1, 2, 3 triple, which means each circle for the 3-cell arrows must be at least a 6. And that one can't be 6 because of the... Oh, this one can't be 6 by virtue of Sudoku in the column as well. So these two are at least 7. And these two are at least 6. But, as I was doing the example there, I put 9 in there. And obviously 9 would mean... yeah, okay. I've got it. It's not very difficult, but it's really cool. So, alright, I am going to tell you that I believe, I might be wrong about this, but I don't think I am. I believe I can write in the digits into all of those dominoes straight away, which is very peculiar indeed. I can limit that one as well, I think. But the yeah, how am I performing this trick? Well, it's because Chan has built a trick into the puzzle, I think, and the thought I'm having is that these 2 digits here are obviously at least a 1-2 pair. That's the minimum we could put into any of those arrow tips. And 1 and 2 add up to 3. Now, what is the biggest difference that could exist between 2 cells on a 4-cell purple line? Well, it's 3, isn't it? I mean, if that's 9, I can't make this 5. It's impossible. The absolute maximum difference I could achieve would be 9, 6 and put a 7, 8 pair here. So what I'm saying is that these are always 1-2 pairs. And these 2 digits are always 3 apart. And therefore these 2 digits are the sort of middly digits that sit between the 2 digits that we put into these squares. And okay, all right. So we can fill in some options here, can't we? That's 6, 5, or 4 for sure. And these squares have to be between, so they have to be 5, 6, 7, or 8. Now these two are a little bit different because we have the option of 6 as well. So I think those squares have the options of being 3, 4, 5, or 6. And the 2 cells that sit between are therefore 4, 5, 6, 7, or... Right. Okay, we're getting into comedy levels of pencil marking here. Those can't be 7s. Well, that's important. That's important for this, isn't it? Because if we can't put 7 as an intermediate digit between these two cells, we can't have 9 or 8 in this cell. Because if we did, if this was 9, this would be 6, and this would be 7, 8. If this was 8, this would be 5, and this would be 6, 7. So we can take 8 out of here, we can take 9 and 8 out of here, we can take 5 and 6 out of here. Oh, okay. So there is always a 5 on this domino, because 5 is always going to sit between whatever 2 digits we have to put into this combination. Okay. No, it's close, isn't it? I think we're close to spotting to doing something relatively clever. Although I have not really achieved anything profound yet. Oh, bobbins! Come on, Simon, use your brain. I'm getting distracted, I think, by these 2-cell purple lines, because each purple line obviously has to contain an odd and an even digit. So I was just wondering about the fact that we had definitely had 2 odd digits in the forms of 5s and 7s here. So these have to be made up. They either have to have 1, 3 or 9 on them. Okay, maybe it is this one then. I did think I could limit this before, because it's a similar principle, isn't it? I mean, if we put the biggest difference we could have between these 2 squares, if that was 5, that could be 3 and that could be 4. So this could be 2, but there's simply no way it's... so we get a 1-2 pair in this column. Is that the point? Yeah, I mean, the simple point is the maximum difference between these on a 3-cell renban is 2 cells, or 2 digits, isn't it? So we don't have we lose one of the degrees of freedom we gain on the 4-cell renbans. Okay, right. So we get a 1. Right, I can see now. I get a 1-2 pair in box 7 by our old fair weather friend Sudoku. In fact, there's nothing fair weather about the weather in England at the moment. It is a filthy, horrible summer. Right, so now I can get the second 1 or 2 in this box as well, I think, can't I? Where does this digit go in this box? Well, it doesn't go in those cells, and it doesn't go there, so it goes there. So now I've got a 1-2 pair in column 2 as well. Sure, that's important for some reason. Okay. Hang on. Now I've got to put 1s and 2s into these squares. So I want to say this is... My brain is telling me this is a 1-2 pair, but then my mouth isn't actually articulating quite why that needs to be the case. I mean, if this was 1... This clearly cannot be 1, can it? Because if this is 1, in order to make this a consecutive sequence, that will be 2. And that will prevent us putting a 2 here and prevent there and give a clash in box 8. So that's definitely not 1. So the 1, yes, okay, so that's the simple way of seeing it, I suppose. So 1 is forced onto this purple line. And once 1 is on it, 2 is on it. So this one either has 3 or 9 on it. So if it has 3 on it, it doesn't have 2 on it, so it would be a 3-4 pair, and that would fix this, which would be huge. So this is either 3-4, or, 3-4, or it's 9 with 8, because it must have an odd digit on it that's either 3 or 9. And obviously 9 can only partner up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, okay, that's not done anything. Sorry. 1, 2 can't go on this arrow now. So the minimum value of these squares is 3 and 4, which is already 7. So this one can't be 7 anymore. And in fact, that square, because these add up to at least 7, we can't make this greater than 2, or this will be a 10. So that's a 1 or a 2. So right, so it looks like this puzzle's actually become about 1s and 2s. Okay, let me think about that for a second or two. What's that telling us? So this digit and this digit are different. So these two digits, no, these two digits are the same. One of them is there. Can't quite see it. Does there have to be? Yes, there has to be a 3 on this arrow, because if there wasn't, this would be a minimum of 4 plus 5, and we can't put 0 here to make this stay down to being a single digit total. So this is either 3, 4 or 3, 5, partnering up a 1 or a 2. No, I've still missed something here. I know I have. Now, what is it that's going to allow us to actually figure this out? 7, 4 would cause 5, 6. Oh, I don't know. It's resisting slightly, isn't it? What is it that I need to... I've almost filled in almost all the clues as well. Is it something to do with... I don't know. It feels like it might be Sudoku at this point, I have to say. I think it must be to do with 1s and 2s somehow. There's got to be a 1 or a 2 in one of those two squares. Because this digit needs to make an appearance in this column, and it's not there, and it's not those, and it's not this. So that digit, let's just label that with green for a moment, is definitely in one of those squares. Now, what would be where would be the most useful place for that to be? That's definitely green as well. So okay, so maybe we are going to have to colour our 1s and 2s. That doesn't feel like a silly idea at this point, so we'll just have a think about that for a moment. These squares are not 1 or 2. So yellow in this box. Okay. Well, you certainly can't put... Oh... Hang on. Something. I'm wondering whether it's to do with whether or not there's a 1 or a 2 on this renban, on this purple line up here. Where does that digit go in this column? Now, I don't know whether this is green or yellow. But I do know that digit is definitely in one of those 3 positions, isn't it? Oh, I can't. I'm still not sure actually. I'm also not sure whether I've started the colouring of the 1s and 2s in the right place, because it might be better to colour them over this side. Maybe we'll try a different colour scheme over here and see if that yields anything more. So I'll make this orange and this blue, because then that's orange, that's blue. This is blue. We don't know how this relates over here. We do know orange is in one of those. We know this is therefore blue. We know this is blue. We know this is orange. So we know blue lives in one of these two positions in box 2. We know orange. So orange lives here in box 5. That feels like it's important. So orange lives over here as well in column 6. Okay, has that helped us, or have I actually just gone on a fool's errand there? Orange is in one of these 3 squares. If we can get orange on this line, I think we're there, aren't we? And the reason I say that is that once orange is on this line, it can't be 1, because that's going to break this square. So it would have to be 2. This would become a 1. And we could have something like 4, 3, 1 here. And this would be 2. And that would work. So the trick, if that's right, is going to be to not, this has to not be orange. And another way of putting that would be to say that orange and yellow were the same. So how do we achieve that? The other way of achieving that is to ensure that this square is not green, because that would put green and yellow into these 2 positions. I mean, actually, that can't be orange, can it? Because orange can't be in the circle. Because we can't make 2 digits add up to 1 or 2. So yet another way of come on, Simon. We must be close to being able to do it now. Those squares cannot be... None of these squares are 1s or 2s. The 1s or 2s are there. Or maybe I'm just on the wrong track. I'm now thinking. Maybe there is another way of thinking about the puzzle. It's not going to be even digits on this. I can see this can't have 2 or 6 on it, so it's got to have 4 or 8 on it. 8 would be hugely useful. That would create a 7, 8, 9 triple. If this had 4 on it, is that doing anything? I don't think so, actually. That feels less powerful, doesn't it? Okay, what about that digits? That digit can't go in those squares because it's 6 or 7 and that doesn't appear in any of those. So this digit is in one of those 2 positions, but it could be 7. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Right, this digit, let's give this yet another colour. That colour is down there, and it's therefore in one of those positions, but this square sees 6 and 7. So it's not there, it is here. That's clever. Right, now is this going to help me out? Now that's 4, because we need to make the arrow add up to 7, which means these squares are no longer, these are now a 5, 6 pair. This being 7... Well, what do we need? We need 3, 8, and 9 to complete box 7. I think I've taken us on a fool's errand with the 1s and 2s. Let's see. Actually, that's not really done very much, has it? This 4 we learn exists. These squares, this square here is, again, it's 3, 4, 8 or 9. So if this is 3, we know that becomes 8, 9 and this becomes 4. If this is 8 or 9, we know that becomes 3, 4. And this becomes the other of 8 or 9. Okay, I'm being totally outfoxed by a 14-year-old here. Right. So what else could it be? It's got to be perfect. No, we're not going into fairground attraction today. Oh my goodness, right. Oh goodness, it's row 2. I didn't spot it. Wow, okay, it's Sudoku on row 2. Where do 1 and 2 go? Not there. Here, potentially. That's one possible position. Let's circle it in red. That could be a 1 or a 2 in row 2. This can't be. It sees a pair. This can't be. It sees a pair. This can't be. So that's it. Now we're cooking with gas. Because this is what we needed to achieve. I could sense there was something going on. I just couldn't see how to do it. So these are a 1-2 pair now, as being the only positions for 1 and 2. And now we know that this becomes orange, which means this is not orange, which means this is now blue. And we can de-bluify this. We still might not know. We need to, at some point, we're going to have to work out how blue and orange relate to yellow and green. But I think now the natural place to look is here, isn't it? Because we did the logic for this. We worked out this couldn't be 1. So we now know that blue is 1, which means orange is 2. We now know that how are we going to fill these squares? We can't use 1, so this is a 3-4 pair, and obviously 4 is going to go in the corner. Oh, which means no song, I suppose. This is now not 3, so that means this is not 6, which means we have to take 4 out of the possibilities for the overlapping cells. 3. All right, what's that done? 6 is now in one of those squares. 6 moves up here. Doesn't seem to get rid of any pencil marks. And yeah, look at this. Where does 3 go in this box? I don't know exactly, but it's definitely there. Looking down at our 8-9 pair. So this becomes a 3. This domino can't be an 8-9 pair because it would break this square. It's funny, we've almost done a lot of the logic in the puzzle, but we've done it all backwards. So this becomes an 8 or a 9, which, oh, that does help, doesn't it? Because I was thinking about what's the... Yeah, I had to do a puzzle backwards. I am converging on a path, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't the one that Chan intended. Because now I want to look at this, and I was thinking earlier about this. We can see, again, this is a consecutive sequence of digits. So it must have an even digit on it that's not 2 or 6. It's either 4 or 8. If it had 8 on it, its partner digit would be a 7 or a 9. That would create a 7, 8, 9 triple and now break this square. So this has 4 on it with 5 or 3. But it definitely has 4 on it. Okay. Thought that was going to do something, but no. It appears not. What could it be next? Let's see. Got quite a lot of digits in row 7, I suppose. 5, 6, 8 and 9 to place. Is there going to be value from pencil marking those? I know some solvers would. Not naming names. But I don't think I will. I think I'll find that just cluttery. It'll make my brain too full. So we won't do that. Right, I see. This is a 5 or a 6. So the 5 and the 6 here can't be the middly digits, can they? So if this was 4, 7, this would be 5, 6 and break this square. So this is not 7. This is not 4. which means that whether this is 8, 5 or 9, 6, there's always going to be a 7 in this domino. I think we can state that with certainty. There's never going to be a 5 here, is there? So there's always 7, but there's never 5, because we can't make these two 3 apart if we had a 5 down here. So this square is 5, 6 or 8. I think that is worth recording. So this is not 7. So 7 is now in this domino in box 1. And we know that 1 is in one of those two cells, don't we? But we still don't know. It's probably here, but we don't know it's here. If green turned out to be blue, then that would be the 1. Okay. This 3, 4 pair, is that doing any magic? This... It looks like we're heading up towards some sort of 6, 7, 8 triple in row 6, doesn't it? Okay, I'm stuck again now. How do we do this? I don't know. I don't know again. Oh, have you got me again? Why can't I see how to do this puzzle? It's probably got too much Sudoku in it. It's immune. It's immune because I can't do Sudoku. I don't know. I know that this... It feels it's close. It does feel close to a tipping point. That does feel true to say. Is it something to do with the fact this must have a 3 on it? I don't think so. 8, 9. Okay. So there's an 8, 9 pair here, which means either this is an 8. Oh, that's not. Oh no, that's not true even. No, I was about to say something that was totally wrong. I was thinking, if this is an 8 or a 9, obviously then it's 8, isn't it? No, that doesn't work because of the renban. Ah. Right, okay. So, here's my thinking. If this is... We've got to put 8 and 9 in this box. And they are not here. So if this was an 8 or a 9, by Sudoku, it would have to go here, and it would have to be 8. But now 9 in the box goes here on the renban, where it would need to have an 8 accompanying it. So that cannot work, which means there are 8 and 9 on this sequence. And if there are 8 and 9 on the sequence, we know that the two extreme digits go into these squares. So that's 9, that's 6. This is a 7, 8 pair now. That must do something. Yeah, that's doing something. So that's 6 and 5 can go in at the bottom of the grid. This square here is now definitely a 5. Knocking 5 out of this square and out of this square, which gives me a 3, 4 pair. Okay, good. 1, 2. We need 3, 4 and 5 in here. 4 must go here. So this has become a 3, 5 pair. In this column, we haven't got 8 and 9, do we? So the 6 has got to go here, the 7's got to go there, and these two squares are an 8, 9 pair. And now I've got an 8, 9 pair in row 2 as well, which means I haven't got 3, 4 and 5. So 3, 4 and 5 go into these squares. I get a 3, 4, 5 triple in in box 3, look, the 5 of which is definitely in row 2. So that's not 5, giving me a 3, 4 pair in box 2 as a reward. Okay, well that was at least a flurry of activity. Now, right, here's another point. Now, this can't be 9. Because if this was 9, 6, this would be 7, 8, and that will break this square. So that does a little bit more, look. So now 8 comes out of the middly digits here. There must be a 6 on this as a middly digit on this renban. I like this. I mean, even though it's making me feel a bit daft, it's clever, isn't it? It really is very clever. I found a 7, 8 pair in this row, look. Oh, 4. So this, that's done it. So now this has become 5, which forces this to be 8, because it's got to be 3 away, which means that we can take 5 out of here, and this becomes a 6, 7 pair. And we get the 8 and the 7 over here. That's lovely. That's a treat. This becomes 5. This becomes 3. In this row now, we've not put 6 or 9 in, have we? And we still can't. So it's got a 6, 9 pair. This is not 5 anymore. That's good, because now I've managed to eliminate 5 from both of these squares. So that's now a sort of no... Oh, there's a 9 here. Just noticed 9, 9, 8. So it's now 7 digits we know. We don't know where the 5 is, and we don't know where the 7 is. Ah, we do now. There's a 7 here. So that's a 5, that's a 7. 7 must... Ah, that's huge, because 7 has to live in the corner now, and that prevents this from being green. So green goes up here. Oh, green goes up there. That's a 1 or a 2. And now we can finally wrestle our 1s and 2s into submission, because we have discovered that yellow is blue. In case you were in any doubt, yellow is blue, which means that green is orange. And green is 2, so all of those become 2. All of these become 1s. It doesn't, I think, tell us what this is. Maybe something else does, but 6, 8, and 9 up there. Okay, I'm going to have to do some Sudoku in a moment. I know this is a terrible thing, but I think I will have to. That's not orange anymore. That's got to be a 2. All the 2s are done, all the 1s are done. And all that is left to do is probably, I think it's going to be a bit of Sudoku. Maybe we start here. 5, 8 and 9. So these squares are 5, 8, 9. We know this one is not 5. Eight, 9 pair there, 8, 9 pair, 3, 4 pair, and no, okay, I still can't do it. I was thinking I must be able to resolve this arrow, but I'm not sure I can. Let's try 3, 4, 9 into this row. Let's see if that helps us. This square, I don't know. I don't know. If that's a 3, 4 pair, then that's a 9. Okay, all right. That hasn't helped, has it? Maybe. What about 3, 4? I mean, 6 and 9 definitely are in those 3 squares. 9 is... Oh, I see. No, it's simple. It's simpler than I'm making it. 9 in this box is definitely in this domino, and therefore it's seeing that square. So 8, 8, 9. 9 goes in here. Now, how do we make this add up to 9? We're going to need a 5, aren't we? We're going to need a 5. We're going to need a 3. And that's doing my 3s and my 4s, which is a relief. The 8 now gives us a 5, 9 pair at the top. So this becomes 6, 8. That becomes 4. Let's get rid of the corner pencil mark. 9 here gives me a 6. Hooray. 9 here. 4 here. 6 in the box now goes there, which makes this 7. That's 7. that 5, that 9. Okay, this column needs 3, 4 and 8. Therefore that's an 8. This is a 3, 4 pair, and that's, I was going to say a 7. That would not be right, would it? 6, I think. So 6 is in this domino. This is a 3, 9 pair, which we can do. 9, 3. Ah, no 3s in the corner for us today. These squares are 4, 5 and 8. I'm going to just write them in. 4, 5, 8. This is not 4. This is not 5. This is a 5, because it can't be 4 or 8. So that's a 4 or an 8 in the corner. This 4 is giving us 3s and 4s and 3s here. These two squares are 6 and 9, which we can now do. 6 and 8 we can do. 4 here, 8 here, 5 here. This column needs an 8, I think. That's a 4 in the corner then. And if we haven't made a ricket, that's a 7. What 7 was the purple digit? So let's just clear that up. Double click the 7s, make them all purple. Get rid of the white flash there, otherwise people will get cross with me. Click tick. Yay! Oh, it's a message. Congratulations, you have successfully solved the puzzle. I hope you enjoyed it. Well, Chan, as always, I enjoyed it. 210 people have solved it in just a shade under 20 days. Well, I'm not surprised it's garnered so many solves, because Chan's puzzles are just fantastic, as that has just shown us again. It's just a beautiful idea, isn't it? And I was foxed by Sudoku on 1s and 2s. I think I did that completely, well, not completely in the wrong order, but I found loads of little ideas into it that I think if you had them in the correct sequence, that could be quite a quick puzzle to solve. So I spotted, I think the basic theme I did spot relatively quickly, which is the idea that the purple lines have an interaction with the sort of second 2 cells of the arrows. So these were always forced to be 3 apart. I understood that quite quickly. I understood that gave me a lot of 1s and 2s quite quickly. What I failed, and I could then see the power of managing to get a 1 or a 2 into this renban, and I wanted to achieve it. I just failed to think about the consequence of row 2 at the correct moment, and I had little ideas like around these things. Yeah, but it's just fascinating. What a cool Sudoku puzzle. And the paths did indeed converge into a correct solution. I wonder if that's why it's called the name it's called. Because, there are a few ways to get to Rome. And whichever way you take, you eventually come up with the idea that you can start to get a grip on the 1s and 2s. You can work out this renban, and then from there, it's a Sudoku journey home. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.